What to do when your old friends start dying. They were there through your first heartbreak, your first big win, your first real loss. But now, one by one, they're disappearing. And nobody tells you how hard it hits. No one prepares you for the silence. Losing old friends as we grow older isn't just painful, it's disorienting. It changes how we see the world and how we see ourselves. You start to feel like a piece of your own story has vanished. And suddenly, the past feels like a place you can't return to. What viewers will learn. In this video, we're going to talk about what to do emotionally, mentally, and spiritually when your old friends start dying. We'll cover the emotional toll, the quiet grief no one talks about, and the small, powerful things you can do to cope, heal, and even grow. You'll learn why some grief resurfaces decades later, and how it's connected to memory, identity, and even brain health. We'll also talk about one simple ritual you can do today to feel connected to the ones you've lost, even years after they're gone. So stick around until the end. This video might just change the way you deal with loss forever. Welcome to After Older Years, where we talk about life, aging, and the truths no one wants to say out loud. If that sounds like something you need, make sure to subscribe. Now, let's begin. 1. The emotional impact. Before we talk about what you can do when your friends start passing away, let's talk about what it feels like. Because no one really explains that part. It's not just sadness. It's a strange kind of quiet that settles over your life. The kind where you catch yourself reaching for the phone, only to remember they won't pick up anymore. Sometimes, it feels like losing a part of yourself. The part that only they knew. That inside joke. That version of you from 30 years ago. Gone. And then, there's the nostalgia. It sneaks up on you. A song, a smell, a place you used to go together. And suddenly, you're back in time. Laughing, living, before everything changed. But here's what people don't always talk about. Grief doesn't look the same for everyone. For some, it's tears. For others, it's a tight chest, trouble sleeping, or this weird sense of guilt. Like, maybe you should have called more, said more, done more. And then there's the emptiness. Not dramatic, just hollow. Like your world shrank a little. Like the background music of your life is missing a note. Some days, you might feel nothing at all. And then wonder if something's wrong with you. That's grief too. It comes in waves. And those waves don't care how strong you are. Let's talk about how to handle that. Next. 2. Coping mechanisms. Before we talk about the future, the part where you move forward, we need to sit with the grief itself. Not rush it, not fix it. Just feel it. Too often, we're told to be strong, to keep it together. But real strength isn't pretending you're okay. It's letting the tears come. It's saying, "This hurts," without apology. Grief needs space. And sometimes, that space looks like an empty chair you talk to, or a letter you write to the friend who's no longer here. Tell them what they meant to you, what you never said out loud, what you wish you could say now. It might feel strange at first, but putting those words somewhere, even on paper, can make the weight inside you feel just a little lighter. And don't go through it alone. Reach out to the people who knew them too. A shared memory, even a silly one, can keep their spirit alive. You'd be surprised how healing it is to laugh about the past, even while your heart aches. Sometimes, talking about them is the best way to feel like they're still here. Not just in memory, but in meaning. Now let's talk about the people who are still here, and why reaching out matters more than ever. Before we talk about the ways to honor those we've lost, we need to talk about something most people avoid: asking for help. Grief can be lonely, not just because your friend is gone, but because you start to feel like no one else gets it. People say, "You'll be okay," or "They're in a better place," but none of that fills the silence they left behind. That's why finding someone who understands matters. Not someone who talks to you, but someone who's been there. Support groups exist for this exact reason. Not to fix you, but to remind you that you're not broken. To let you sit in a room, virtual or real, and say, "I miss them," and hear someone reply, "Me too." Counselors, therapists, they're not just for crisis. They help you process what most people avoid. They give your grief shape, words, and sometimes relief. You don't have to carry this alone, and you're not weak for wanting help. In fact, reaching out is one of the strongest things you can do. There's a certain kind of healing that only happens in connection, especially with those who know what it's like to lose someone they thought would always be there. Let's talk now about how to keep those lost friends close, not just in memory, but in action. 4. Honoring their memory. Before we talk about moving forward with life, we need to talk about how to keep your friend close, not just in your thoughts, but in the way you live. Grief doesn't end, but it can evolve. And one of the most powerful ways to keep someone alive in your heart is to create something that honors who they were. It doesn't have to be grand. Maybe it's lighting a candle on their birthday, or playing their favorite song once a week. Maybe it's making their signature dish and sharing it with someone new. Rituals like these give shape to the ache. They turn absence into presence, even for just a moment. Some people plant a tree in their memory. Some donate to a cause their friend cared about. Some just take a walk in the place they used to go together. And then there are the anniversaries, the days that hit the hardest, without warning. You don't have to dread them. You can mark them. Do something that feels meaningful, not heavy. Even something as small as writing their name and a memory in a notebook each year can bring surprising comfort. These small acts don't erase the pain, but they give it a home. A place where love can keep showing up, even after the person is gone. Before we talk about what it means to truly live after loss, let's explore why your own life, right now, matters embracing more life than ever. Before we talk about what loss can teach us, we have to talk about what it leaves behind. You, still here, still breathing, and still with time left on the clock. When someone close to you dies, it shakes the ground under your feet. It makes you question how you've spent your time and how much time you might have left. But grief can also wake you up. It can remind you that every day you wake up is a day someone else didn't get. And that's not something to feel guilty about. It's something to honor. Honor them by living, by doing the things you always said you would, by saying yes more often, by reconnecting with the people you've drifted from. Start small, take the class, call the old friend, pick up the book that's been sitting on your shelf for years, and don't be afraid to form new bonds, even late in life. New people won't replace the ones you've lost, but they can still bring joy, laughter, meaning. The heart never runs out of room. Your old friends would want to see you smiling again. They'd want to know you're not just surviving, you're living. So hold tight to the people who are still here. Make time. Make memories. Because one day, someone will light a candle for you. And what will matter most is how fully you lived while you were here. Before we finish, let's talk about something that's harder to define, but just as powerful: the meaning behind the loss. Conclusion: finding meaning in loss. Before we end this video, there's one more thing that needs to be said, something we often miss when we talk about death. Losing old friends breaks your heart, but sometimes it also breaks you open. It shows you what truly matters. It strips away the noise and leaves only the truth. That time is short, that love is rare, and that every shared moment, every laugh, every story was a gift. Yes, the pain is real, but it can change you in ways that make your life richer, deeper, more honest. You start saying the things you used to hold back. You forgive a little faster. You show up more fully for yourself and for the people still here. Grief can crush you, but it can also carve out space in your soul. Space for wisdom, for gratitude, and for love that doesn't fade when someone's gone. If this video spoke to you, if you felt seen, heard, or just a little less alone, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel, After Older Years, where we talk about life, loss, and everything that truly matters. You're still here, and that means there's still more to feel, more to love, more to live.